What's up, everyone? Taiki here, and welcome to the Crypto Market Wizards podcast. Today, I'm joined by Qiao. How are you doing today? Are you enjoying the pumps?
I am respecting the pump.
Respect the pump. I mean, as we speak, Bitcoin's chatting at 92. I mean, honestly, we might get to 100K this week, right? Like, where do you think we are in the cycle? It feels so euphoric, but
Yeah,
where do you think we are?
this doesn't feel like the final leg. I think there's probably at least one more. Earlier this week, my quote unquote friends who haven't talked to me for 2 years, they text me about Bitcoin.
Yeah, me too.
So I think they're just getting started. I think aside this current rally from the previous all-time high to where it is today, like 90, maybe we end up at 100, maybe 110, I don't know. But like this leg up, it doesn't feel like the final one. There's probably one more after this. Like we have this rally and then we take a break and then one final rally. That's my hunch.
Yeah, I think we often talk about the normie signal, right? It's like, oh, our friends start texting us. It's top signal. But the thing is, I mean, every cycle we gain more people, or we get more adoption. People. The thing is, like, all our friends buy Bitcoin or ETH, right? Or they hold a little bit and they don't like think about it. They forget about it. And now that it's pumping, they pay more attention to it. And then the question is, like, what are they going to buy next? And I think the thesis with Murad and Ansem is that we're entering like a Memecoin Supercycle. But before I talk about meme coins, I do want to pull up this this image. So I had you on like earlier this year, I think, and there's like this bell curve meme, right? First cycle, you're a left curve. You don't give a fuck. You just take on all the risk and you just make a bunch of money. But at some point, you lose. Second cycler, PTSD, Midcurve syndrome. Then third cycler, you just embrace everything, just buy memes. So recently, I've fully embraced meme coins, but like, how does one manage their portfolio at this point? Like, what's like the optimal portfolio strategy? Is it like a barbell of majors and memes? Like, how are you currently positioned?
I don't know. Like the ideal portfolio obviously depends on your personal circumstances, but I can tell you how I'm positioned. My core holdings has been Bitcoin, Sol, and Coinbase for a very long time. Basically throughout since the beginning of the cycle. So that's my core portfolio. And then I have a side pocket for trading, like smaller size and more frequent positions in and out. So in that portfolio, I currently have Goat, Popcat with Doge, and that's pretty much the meme coins. And then I have like Radium and Arrow just in case. The Radium is the DeFi exposure for Solana, and Arrow is the DeFi exposure for Base. I actually tweeted about this yesterday. I'm like, yeah, like when you see smart people shill coins that you don't own, but there is a like you don't own and you don't have full conviction on, but they have a good bull case. It's not necessarily a bad idea to buy a little because it's basically a hedge for your mental health. Because if you don't own any and those coins go up, your mind will be messed up. This is what I learned in the last few cycles. So I'm implementing this in my side pocket.
Yeah, it's I think we're in the ape first to research later phase. Yeah. And me personally, I only own AI meme coins right now. Actually, this morning I saw the Paul Grewal tweet. Coinbase finally starting to list more memes. I saw this and I just like top blasted Pepe. I'm like, you know what? Like, fuck it. The feeling I get. I suggest everyone try this. Just sell a little bit of your ETH to buy a meme coin. You'll feel so much better. Like I don't know what it is about it. You like just get rid of this mental baggage. You get like post-nut clarity. It's like, wow, like I could do this. Like I feel like there's like this social norm to just hold on to your ETH or like just any coin in general. But you don't have to, right? I mean, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Like because deep down it's not the right asset to own, at least at this stage of the cycle. Like there's two cases. Like one case is you sell and you regret immediately. The other case is you sell and you feel much better. So like the lesson is you should like when in doubt, just sell a little bit and buy something else and see how you feel.
Yeah.
Because that's what your subconscious is going to tell you.
Yeah. And I mean, if you sell 10% of your ETH and and the ETH pumps to Valhalla, like you're still fine, right?
Yeah,
But I think the
but it
reality
won't.
is,
It obviously
but it
won't
won't.
at this stage of the. I mean, like I'm not like talking shit about ETH right now, like specifically, but like at this stage of the cycle, like if the goal is to maximize P&L, then you don't want to own the majors.
Like for me, like I just have this barbell approach of just like majors and memes, because like majors will benefit from like this PVE environment, right? A rising tide lifts all boats, and I can go to sleep, right? Sleep adjusted returns, right? Maximize that. But then the convexity comes from memes, and you've been pretty vocal about Solana versus ETH, and wanting to own Solana over ETH. And then this tweet, I think you tweeted this morning. Everyone's obsessed with the Sol ETH flippening. No one's prepared for a Doge ETH flippening. So can you expand on this? Do you actually believe in this, or were you just shitposting?
That was a shit posting, but I like it's not there's a non-significant chance. There's a significant chance that Doge will be durably number 2. Like the probability of that is not 0. It's like 20-30%.
20, that's pretty high. That's pretty high.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
Yeah, I actually did a podcast with Daryl, like from Qiao Wang from Tangent.
Yeah,
and he said that there's a chance that like Bitcoin's at 150 and ETH is like at 4K, and Solana's like at 300. And I'm like, actually, I don't actually disagree. There's a non-zero chance. I mean, this podcast is not meant to bash on Ethereum, of course, right? That's not really the point. But I think
think about it. Like the thing with Doge in the coming 4 years is it's gonna be on the headline like every week.
Right.
Like you have Elon and Vivek leading this new thing to reduce the size of the government, and the lesson that we've learned as a civilization, the lesson that we learned over the last 2 decades is to never bet against Elon.
Right.
And so this thing is going to be just on top of everyone's mind share for the next few years.
Yeah, it's all about attention.
Yeah.
So you do own Doge. You think so you think it's gonna hit over $1, right? That's
$1 for sure. I own Doge. Yeah, $1 for sure. But the question is like the actual question is whether or not it's gonna flip ETH. Like it's already a third of like Doge is already like more than halfway towards flipping Sol.
Right.
And Sol is a third of ETH. Like the gap between Doge and ETH is not that large.
Right. I feel like if someone's like an ETH maxi and they're listening to this, like they're gonna feel so much anger. It's like, how are these guys saying this? But it's just you have to. It's like the stages of grief, right? Or acceptance. Like you just have to accept it at some point. That maybe ETH is kind of cucked. Why do you think people have? Why do you think people have such a hard time accepting that ETH is cucked? There's such emotional baggage there, right?
Yeah, emotional baggage. Inability to take new information into account.
Yeah, and I think you had this tweet, which I'll pull up real quick. The existential problem with ETH is that there's too many cooks in the kitchen. And maybe you're referring to this. They had like this presentation at DevCon, the Beam chain, and they're like, okay, we're going to work on this and we're going to ship 2029. It's like, what?
Yeah, I was referring to this, but not specifically this per se, because when I realized after this, this talk, like people were talking about this, and then there was a bunch of ETH heads talking heads, like some of the key men at the Ethereum Foundation, debating each other on this stuff. It's like there's no leader.
Right.
Like Vitalik is supposed to be the leader, but like it seems like there's at least 2 or 3 key decision makers, and there's no consensus among them. And ultimately, that's probably the reason why ETH is moving so slow over the last few years. Like every ETA that the ETH Foundation gives out, just automatically multiply by 3. That will give you the actual like ETA.
Okay. So Beam chain coming 2039.
2039, yeah.
2039. Okay. Yeah. And then the roll-up centric roadmap, it'll finally come into effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess
someone asked a good question this morning. Like, what mode does ETH still have? A year ago, I would have said ETH had some regulatory mode because it has an ETF. It had an ETF. It crossed the regulatory chasm in terms of like how SEC perceives, or the current SEC, the pre-Trump SEC perceives the various crypto assets. They deem Sol, for example, as a security, but ETH is not. So ETH as an asset did have some regulatory mode. But now with this new administration, I don't think that mode exists anymore.
Yeah. What odds would you give the Solana ETF coming in 2025?
I don't have a informed view, but gun to my head, I would say over 50%.
Wow. Okay. There could be a Doge ETF as well, right? All these Dino tokens just might get ETFs.
Yeah, we might get a bunch of ETFs, or maybe even a index ETF on like top 10 crypto assets or something. Which is Cardano still part of it?
I mean, probably. Cardano was up like 40% a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
And I think this Pepe listing by Coinbase is kind of like a big shot, like heard around the world. Maybe Binance starting to list memes as well. I think Coinbase is years behind Binance when it comes to like just listing, their listing criteria being more lenient. And this will pump Pepe. This will probably pump like the mid cap memes, like 1 to 5 billion. That's going to create a wealth effect. That wealth effect will go to the trenches. Do you believe in the Memecoin Supercycle? Like, how big do you think these memes can get? Like, you think Doge can hit over 100 billion? Then
I mean, didn't Doge hit 100 billion last cycle?
Let me just double check. It hit like 90.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if it hits 100 this time.
That's definitely the target. And I guess if Doge is 100, 200 bill, then the floor, the ceiling of all these memes just goes significantly up.
Yeah. I noticed how like Doge, the Doge pump also led Bonk and Whiff to pump.
Yeah. It's dog coins, animal coins.
Yeah. But the cat coins are not pumping.
The cat coins, your Popcat's not pumping.
Popcat is not pumping.
But it's popping. It's popping. It's popping for sure.
It's popping. It's gonna pop.
It's gonna pop. And I just love this, because the thing is, I used to fight this, right? I was like this DeFi guy. I'm like just analyzing cash flow fundamentals and stuff. I was the intelligent investor. At least I told myself that. And then everyone's been talking about, oh wow, like this is gonna pump the utility coins. Meme coins are gonna underperform, and then just everything just goes up 2-3x. I guess this is what the people want. You have to kind of accept it for what it is.
My thesis for this stage of the cycle is very simple. You want to own coins that have the following characteristics. One is it's listed on Binance, or at least some of the other tier 1 exchanges. Very low unit price, and it has a story that the average person can relate to, can understand. Right. And what that basically means is the meme coins, the meme coin blue chips that are low priced. I mean, they're all pretty low priced.
Yeah. And then I think today, Robinhood listed Solana back. they delisted Solana at the bottom. And now they're relisting at 200. I think Pepe and XRP, Cardano as well.
And that ties back to the SEC problem that I mentioned earlier, because a year ago, SEC deemed Sol as a security. And that was why many exchanges delisted Sol.
Got it. Okay, so I think we've talked about our market views for the first 15 minutes. I do want to pivot the conversation to more psychology, because this is something that I personally struggle with. So I'll just tell you like my story, and then you can kind of give me advice, because I think a lot of people feel the same way. But for me, I entered the markets in 2020. Like I saw DeFi summer. It's like just YOLO'd in, right, fully in. And then I rode the bull cycle up, wrote it down. It was painful. But for me, this is like the first time where I experienced the brutal bear market, and now we're entering, right, like the fabled golden bull run. And I feel like the people, like if you're a new retail participant, you're gonna come into the markets feeling super optimistic. This is the beginning of the bull, time to buy fucking crypto coins and make life-changing money. But for me, I'm like, wow, I've been experiencing this for so long. I feel like I need to take some profits here. I need to de-risk here a little bit. So as like you're like a 3 cycler or 4 cycler, right?
Fourth, yeah.
4th cycler. So how do you manage your emotions? How do you shed the PTSD? How do you embrace that this is a bull market? And like, can you just give me, I guess, like general advice for how to like manage my emotions?
Do you feel the market is euphoric?
Yes, but only for meme coiners and I guess Bitcoiners.
Okay.
Not for ETH holders.
Okay. I feel like the market is euphoric, but it's only maybe a 7 out of 10. And I don't know what top signal to look for this cycle, but you can sort of feel the general public sentiment towards crypto in general. Like when you talk to your friends, just anecdotally how they feel, and you can look at the headlines, and you can look at, like, I don't know, maybe Coinbase's ranking in app stores, stuff like that. Like some of the old top signals probably still work this time. But like I can tell you how I feel. Like historically I've been very good at picking the bottom, but I'm very bad at selling the top, and I'm perfectly aware of that. So what I'm gonna do is just like when the market reaches maybe a 9 out of 10, I'm gonna start DCA out of the market. That's the only thing I can do. But today I'm holding. I think today is a 7 out of 10.
So obviously the 7 out of 10, 9 out of 10, I mean, it's all subjective, right? Like how do you do you just like scroll Twitter and like how do you gauge the euphoria?
I think you wanna look at a variety of sources. Twitter is a small bubble. It's a big bubble, but it's still not the representative of the entire market. Like some of the data points that I mentioned earlier, Coinbase's App Store ranking, Yahoo Finance. I look at Yahoo Finance every day to see what the normies think about markets and crypto, and just talking to your friends, like your normie friends, and see how they feel.
Right.
And also pay attention to your own emotion, like maybe like how you feel this cycle compared to last cycle, for example. Like, are you actually at the same level of euphoria where you were at the top of last cycle?
Definitely not. Like last cycle, I was so euphoric but I was also like a left curve first cycler, all the risk taking. This time around, I have to. I guess it's all about self-awareness, remembering to dream big, because that's how we make money. But I guess comparing my emotions to, I guess, like February 2021, I mean, I'm nowhere near euphoric, so maybe it is like a 7 out of 10. Maybe you are right, what would be like what would you need to see for it to be like a 9 out of 10, like 10 out of 10? Like what are some examples of like things that, be like, oh my God, like I have to get the fuck out?
I mean, it's everything that I just said, but like again, like every cycle has some similarity, but also some differences. Like every cycle gets a bit crazier than the last time. Like for example, like last cycle, if you saw the president-elect naming Elon as the head of Doge, like that would have been the top of the cycle. But today, it's not the top of the cycle. It's probably not the top of the cycle. I hope it's not. But so there's going to be something crazier.
And we can't even think about like what would be next, right?
Yeah.
Because
the thing with the super cycle thesis is, I mean, like if in the over the very long time horizon, the chart will look like a super cycle, but the market is always going to be slightly cyclical in the short term. There's always going to be like euphoria and fear if you zoom into the chart.
And you mentioned you're gonna start taking profits out, DCing out. Like, what is your profit? Is it just straight to cash and like just stablecoin form, or are you gonna fully just withdraw to your bank account? What's like the best way to not round trip if you're like an average retail?
I don't know. Personally, I just withdraw to my bank account and put it in the boomer stocks.
Put it in boomer stocks.
Yeah.
I guess. So wait, do you denominate in the S&P, or do you denominate like stables or Bitcoin, or like
I denominate in USD. I'm such a boomer. But I've never held. I've never, like, crypto has never been like less than 50% of my position anyway. Like no matter how I DCA out, it's always going to be a huge. Like I always have a big position on chain.
Yeah, but I guess the point is, no matter how big or how much you make or how much you lose, you want your portfolio to have like higher highs and higher lows because it's impossible to sell the top. Yeah, it's it's pretty crazy stuff. Hey, Taiki here. If you're enjoying the content, please like and subscribe. I don't run YouTube ads or have sponsors on this channel, so I'd really appreciate it. Your engagement will help this video reach more people, which will allow me to book better guests in the future. Now back to the episode. One thing I wanted to pivot the conversation to is something that I'm like really interested in is like the AI meme coins. So, when I saw GOAT for the first time, that was the moment for me where I just finally capitulated on my Midcurve bags and just fully embraced the meme coins. Like something about GOAT just activated a part of my brain that was like, that's been dormant for so long. And I'm like, wow, like, why am I holding DeFi bags? Like time to buy the memes. This is what the people want. So what do you think about the AI meme coin meta? I think the collective AI meme coins, roughly 2 to 3 billion.
It's not just you. Like there's a ton of founders that I work with, crypto founders that were very jaded about towards the meme coins, and there's a bunch of like super highbrow Silicon Valley type of people who hated crypto. The moment they saw Truth Terminal, like something activated, like some activated part of their brain, and they went all in on crypto. Because like it was actually because of AI, but really like, they went all in on crypto and meme coins. Even the Mark Andreessen, like his brain got activated as well when he was talking about like how like gold was the very first instance in the history of actually interesting intersection between AI and crypto. Look, I don't know how high the market cap will go because ultimately it's going to depend on Binance listing, unfortunately. Binance listed ACT the other day. I don't understand it. I don't understand why they didn't list GOAT, because GOAT had by far the largest trading volume out of all the AI meme coins. I would imagine I would have guessed that the centralized exchanges would want to list something liquid, but they ended up listing a like 30 million market cap, and this happened.
15.
How much? 15?
It was 15 before the listing.
Yeah. Like, and this happened quite a few times already. Like before it was Nero, right? Yeah. So it's entirely possible that Binance has changed their listing strategy. And I can steel man the strategy, right? Like their strategy is like basically instead of listing very high FDV coins, any coins, both VC coins and meme coins, they want to list the 10, 20, 30 market cap coins in such a way that their users, once they buy those coins, once they're listed, they will make money because if the market cap is low, then the path of least resistance is up. So they want their users to make money. So like at the end of the day, like the AI meme coins depends on Binance listing.
Yeah, I guess it's all about the distribution, the retail distribution, and I think it's going to happen. I think, the amount of fucks the amount of fucks Coinbase gives. Maybe like 3 months ago, it was like at a 9, right? They give a lot of fucks, and now it's like going to like a 7, 6, 5, and then they're going to start listing more and more memes as we see with Pepe. And I had you on Steady Lads a couple months ago, and I think you said that the positive externality of Pump Fun is that centralized exchanges are going to start taking meme coins seriously, and high FDV alts are going to slowly die. Do you think that's kind of panned out? I think it feels like it is, right?
Definitely panned out, because like what was the last, like over the last 6 months, the only VC coin I can think of that got listed on Binance was like Eigenlayer.
There's I think Eigenlayer, Layer 0, and Scroll's down only. Like everything's.
When did Scroll get listed?
It was, I think it was last month.
Okay,
let me double check.
So last time when I went on Steady Labs, I said the last VC coin that was listed was Layer 0. That was like May or something, and then since then there has been only two more VC coins, and everything else was meme coins. And I think this is obviously a positive externality, because if you build a product and it has no users, no traction, you shouldn't deserve a $10 billion valuation.
Right. Yeah. And one problem that Binance had, or like any exchange had when it comes to listing like high FTV coins, is that if they go down and people buy it, then they lose money, and Binance makes less money, right? They need their users to make money so that they keep trading, they keep swapping, etc. And by listing, quote unquote organic meme coins, as they say, it creates a wealth effect for the trenches, which will eventually lead to more volumes and more fees for them. So the incentives are aligned, right? Coinbase will probably list more base assets, right, to entice developers like the activity. Binance will keep listing memes. So we kind of have this player versus environment PVE situation for memes. And I'm trying to identify the memes, like I'm still a Midcurve at heart. So it's hard for me to just ape a dog coin. But I think I just have to buy, I think I need at least one dog coin. Because if I don't own a dog coin and it pumps, I'm going to be coping. I need a hedge for my mental health. That's what I'm realizing. Yeah, just ape first, research later.
I think the easiest is just Doge.
Doge.
I tweeted about this, but I now think Doge is the official meme coin for the U.S. government.
That's so true. I mean, I saw the Trump that PDF thing, and it says Elon and Vivek is going to lead the Doge. I'm like, bro, this is so unserious.
What timeline is this?
I know it feels like a simulation, but I guess Elon said this, right? Like the most entertaining outcome is the most likely. And now Elon is just like euphoria posting, like Tesla added hundreds of lots of billions of market cap, Doge pumping. He's on top of the world. Actually, it is the meme coin of the U.S. government. That has to have a big TAM. Like that's huge.
Yeah, the TAM is big.
The TAM is big. So you think Doge ETH flipping, like the odds are like what, 20 to like 25%?
Over the next 4 years. Well, actually, let me try to be more rigorous about this.
Okay. We're doing this in real time.
Yeah. 400. ETH is 400 billion, and Doge is 60. I mean, like they're only off by a factor of 6. Like six times that can happen like pretty quickly. So I would say maybe 20% over the next 4 years.
Wow. And I guess like both
Doge, Solana, probably like at this point, Doge is 60 and Solana is 100. I mean, like the flipping can happen by the end of the year. Like I'm not predicting it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Doge flips Solana by the end of the year. Like Doge went up like 100% over the last week. Another 100% is Solana flipping.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. I think you're right. I think wait. I'm trying to think if Doge is mid curve or left curve. It has to be left curve. It's left curve and right curve, right? At this valuation. Or maybe it's all curves, right? Doge is the most all curve.
This is the meme. Doge is all curves.
Doge is all curves. Oh my God. Wait. I think I'm being Doge pilled in real time. Doge for a dollar has to, like a dollar is free, right? It feels like a dollar is free.
Yeah,
God, this podcast is such top signals. My goodness. But this is how we had to think, Yeah. I was like this rigorous DeFi analyst, and now I'm just looking at dog money.
You know what I realized this cycle? Like the longer you spend trading meme coins, the better you actually get trading the majors and even trading TradFi. Because then like once you're in the trenches enough, you realize everything is a meme.
Right.
Bitcoin is a meme, ETH is a meme, Sol is a meme. Like they're just different memes for different people, and they're driven by different like factors. Yeah. But they're all memes at the end of the day. I traded majors really well this cycle. I just fully unleashed my inner retard.
You just unleashed it. You're going forward. Yeah. Everything is a meme, right? I mean, ETH is a meme. Yeah, I mean, everything literally is a meme coin. I actually, I'm gonna have Murad on this channel. Like, I'm gonna talk to him tomorrow. I literally listened to the Murad like Token 2049 talk. I'm not even exaggerating, like 15 times. Like I'm not even like I actually did it like 15 times. It's just to drill it into my brain. Like everything's a meme coin. Taiki's just bring out your inner retard because last cycle, I was in the trenches. Like I was just on chain, just going crazy. And then after the bear market, I'm like, okay, like just fundamental, like, you know, buy and hold DeFi coin. And now I'm back to the trenches. And once you get a taste of the Solana trenches, you can never go back. That's what I realized. Once you get a taste of it, it's over. It's over.
Yeah.
And then you start to sell your ETH for like meme coins. It feels so good, right? And this is the eventuality. I think it's inevitable. And I realized that, you know, previously I was optimizing for like the market that I wanted to see, but like that's stupid, right? Like the market is the market. The market's not wrong. The market wants meme coins. Like you just have to embrace it. Yeah. So you mentioned that, you know, you're going to take profits into cash and whatnot, but I think market talk, right? I mean, we're kind of just euphoria. This talking about like how euphoric people and whatnot. But obviously, right? I think first cyclers are starting to come into the picture, right? Maybe they're going to discover this channel. I guess, you know, do you have any advice for someone that has, let's say, a mid 5-figure portfolio that wants to run it up starting from now? Like, what typical advice do you have to, you know, make sure that, you know, they capture upside, but also don't get destroyed to the downside?
For a cycler?
Or just like anyone that's trying to like really lock in right now for the next 6 to 12 months.
I mean, what's your goal? Do you want to turn like mid 5 figures into 7, 8?
Let's say 50K to $1 million. Just I feel like that's like the typical path, right?
To $1 million.
Yeah.
Look, I've never done this myself. I've never been in the trenches and turned 50 into $1 million, like with a 50 starting portfolio. But I'm guessing it's entirely possible to be fully locked in and then just be on Dex screener all day, and then just initially probably spend a little bit of money. Don't like spend the entire 50K, like maybe spend like 5% of it, just trading, just follow people on Twitter, follow the high signal people on Twitter and see what they trade, how they trade. And after maybe a few months, you'll develop really good intuition for what kind of coins will fly. And then I would not be surprised that you can turn 50K to $1 million purely on like pump fund meme coins.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the Solana trenches are like that's where the alpha and the edge is. Of course, I mean, you can get destroyed, you know, you can totally get destroyed. But I like my strategy. I mean, we're recording this November 13th, but like my current strategy is like majority of my portfolio in the majors, just manifest the PVE, just, you know, it'll go up over time. And then let's say 20 to 30% is, you know, liquid, more tradable assets. And, you know, right now we're super locked into AI memes. I just think that the current market cap of AI memes, like 2 to 3 billion collectively. I think it's only going to go up from here. I'm looking for like, you know, like animal coins and whatnot. But I just think that if you're trying to make it, it's the Solana trenches, I think. You have to manage your risk. You have to know what you're doing. You're going to get destroyed. But you have to get destroyed so you can internalize like the lessons of the trenches. It is, you know, like most people do lose money, right? So I have this strategy of like just holding coins, just believing in it, right? Just stop trading, believe in something, and just look. Like I'm like a disciple of Murad at this point, you know. Like I can't wait to talk to him tomorrow.
But Murad's strategy, Murad is about holding meme coins for a long period of time. I don't think from this stage of the cycle it's possible to pull a 20x, like maybe 5x. Like the coins that the Murad's list is like PopCat. Can PopCat go up 20x? I really doubt it. But 5x I think is possible. So if you want to pull a 20x, you have to do something different than Murad, I think. Like you have to be trading more frequently.
But like the AI memes, right? I mean, ACT. I mean, no one could have predicted ACT, right? It wasn't really a fundamental thing. It was just like a listing. But I mean, it literally like 40x'd, you know, overnight. Like GOAT went from like 100 mil, or like 0 to $1 billion. It was the first $1 billion pump fund coin.
Yeah, the last like really obvious trade that I've seen is GOAT. But I didn't get into it. Like I think I got it around 100. So it did a 10x. But like even GOAT, like the market was so efficient. It took like 2 days to go from 0 to like 300.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like if you want to pull a like 20x or more, you have to be really glued to the screen 24/7.
Yeah. I guess it's like this. I've seen this tweet last cycle, but for the next 6 months, just lock in.
Yeah,
Like because after you, assuming that you like make it right, quote unquote make it, then you can
yeah,
like just chill for the next 2 years. So
yeah,
just like prioritize logging in for the next couple months because this is where champions are made. This is where champions are born. This is where main characters are born.
yeah.
Um, what do you think are the implications of, I mean, goat hitting? Like, I think you own like a bunch of goat. One question I had is, goat is at the time of recording 900 mil,
Hmm.
ACT is at 600 roughly.
Hmm.
I think earlier it was like 800 mil to 700 mil. I personally don't think it's going to be flipped. I think that's like not really likely. But if it does get flipped, don't you think that's pretty bearish goat? Because the point of goat is like it's like the first thing, right? So if it
Hmm.
gets flipped by like a random Binance coin, then surely that could be bearish the sector, or maybe it's bullish like the small caps, but like bearish goat. Like, have you ever thought about that?
No, I've never thought about that. I feel like most people don't even know ACT. Like I think the goat owners and ACT owners are two mutually exclusive demographics. Because one is in the trenches on chain, the other one is on Binance.
That's true. That's true. Maybe the ACT crowd is like more trader, like paper hands, like PvP, and then goat is trying to be like more PvE. Just
Yeah.
yeah. Like I'm curious, like right now you mentioned earlier that you're like, just Bitcoin, Solana, Coinbase as your core portfolio and then, or core position. And then you just like, have a meme coin position. When was the first time you've like just embraced meme coins as a sector? Was it like, did you just get it like the first or second cycle, or did it take time for you to internalize that, people just want memes and like crypto is like a meme coin industry?
Well, I mean, I started trading meme coins in summer last year. I think the first one that I bought was Bald. That was the that was Brian
Yeah.
Armstrong on base. That was actually a really good meme if you think
Yeah.
about it. Like it's actually very easy to. It's actually very hard to mid curve on memes because if a meme makes you laugh, then it's probably a good sign.
Right.
Um, like my criteria is the harder I laugh, the more I want to ape. Uh, that's that's one way. The other way is I show the meme to my daughter and see if she likes it. Um, I mean, like it's very hard to make curve on this. But anyway, so I embraced summer last year, and then but at that time I already knew memes. I already understood memes because the previous cycle I kind of mid curved on NFTs. But if you really think about it, NFTs meme coins are just the next iteration of NFTs. It's the exact same thing. It's
Hmm.
the exact same thing, but in a different form. Fungible
Yeah.
versus non-fungible. Like NFTs was when I realized meme coins, how like the meme coin thing makes sense to me. Was last cycle. I
Yeah.
completely make curve on Doge, by the way, in the early days.
I completely mid-curved it as well. I'm still mid-curving. I don't even own Doge, but I probably, oh man.
Doge is kind of it's kind of an obvious trade, and obvious trades tend to work really well in this market.
Yeah. I guess it's like really hard, right? Because I think the crypto natives that's been around for the past 2 years, they've been conditioned to, take profits because, things retrace, PvP meta, but
Hmm.
it definitely feels like a regime shift to PvE, like to player versus environment. Uh,
Hmm.
how would you suggest someone to like just really just embrace that, we are in a new regime, and just like how do you get over like the PTSD, you think? I asked this earlier too, but
Yeah,
this is like something I'm dealing with, so I would like love to hear your, as a fourth cycler's advice.
I don't know. You just have to power through 2 more cycles in order to get rid
Howard.
of
Yeah, yeah,
the PTSD will follow you for 2 more cycles,
yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, yeah, the PTSD. I just love this meme, the sat start meme of like this first cycle, second cycle, third cycle.
Yeah.
It's so true, it's just so true. Um, anyways, this has been like a pretty unscripted conversation, just because I mean, I wake up, I'm euphoric. Actually, one question that I have for you is, recently I've just been getting no sleep. You know, I've been taking melatonin because I just there's just so much dopamine in my brain.
Yeah.
And like I go to bed and I'm like, Doge, stock coins, meme coins, and then I wake up, it's like 5:30 a.m. I'm like, wait, holy, like what are the prices, right? And obviously, you know, that's not healthy. It might be okay now, but at some point it'll catch up to me. You know, at some point I'll be sleep deprived and I'll make stupid decisions, and like, you know, I'll lose like 50% of my portfolio or something. So what are some good, I guess, good practices for a person that's like super locked in to take care of your mental health, or, you know, maximize health, etc.? Because I think that's something that's not really talked about.
Monday, upper body. Tuesday, zone 2. Wednesday, lower body. And do this till Saturday, and then Sunday do a hit. 4 times for a hit. That's exercise. And then sleep. Just do I guess just take 2 hours to wind down before going to bed. Like, don't look at crypto. Don't close all the tabs for 2 hours before going to bed. That's pretty much. And eat mostly healthy.
Yeah. I guess there has to be, like, people need to like detach, you know, crypto from, you know, your personal life.
Like what I you know, we discussed earlier about like how to turn 50,000 20x. I think to do a 20x, you have to be glued to the computer like all your waking hours. But it's not necessarily something I would recommend. Like, focusing on 20x is not necessarily a good thing. Even if you achieve it, you're going to sacrifice a lot of your health and relationships. Like, what I would do, probably just to take it easy, just hold a few coins that you're high conviction in, and then hold it for like, you know, a few months until the market is really euphoric. And this way, you don't need to look at the market. You don't need to trade in and out. You can keep a pretty healthy lifestyle. And you'll probably end up with like maybe a 5x instead of 20x. But I think the difference is well justified.
Yeah. Comparison is a thief of joy, right? It's just like, if you tell anyone that you got a 5x, it's like, wow, like you're a god. But if you're on Twitter, it's like, dude, what's wrong with you, right? Bet more. So I guess that, you know, play the market to the best of your abilities. Just don't, you know, just like, it's okay, right? Like, you're only competing against yourself. There's going to be infinite opportunities in the markets, and, you know,
there's this such an amazing quote by Druckenmiller. He won an interview recently, and the interviewer said, "You're a very competitive person. Who do you compete with?" And Druckenmiller said, "You would imagine that Druckenmiller would say some other hedge funds or the index like S&P, or like the name of some other hedge funds, but he said, I'm competing with the opportunity set." So in other words, he's looking at the set of all opportunities where he can make a profit, and he tries to capture as much as possible out of these, as opposed to compare himself with his peers. I think it's a really good mentality. It's a healthy mentality, and you probably end up winning more by embracing this mentality.
Yeah, I listened to the interview as well. Every Druckenmiller interview I watch, I read Market Wizards with Druckenmiller. I guess for you, when you heard this and you were, you know, moved by it, like, how are you applying this to like where you are now?
Just ignore all the P&L screenshots on Twitter. Half of them are fake, and the other half, like, they're taking probably excessive risk that you shouldn't be taking anyway. I just, in general, I just think it's much healthier mentally, physiologically, and physically to get rich slow than to do like a 100x per cycle. I think 5x a cycle is more than enough, and you do this over and over again, and you end up making a lot of money, and you end up not killing yourself and not killing your relationships. So like, yeah, getting rich slow is nice.
Yeah, I guess that's like an unpopular take because everyone wants to get rich fast.
Yeah.
But there's extreme survivorship bias in crypto. You hear all these fantastic stories of like 1K, like $500 to 10 million or something. And then there's like a million stories of people just like completely getting destroyed. But
Yeah.
people only decide to consume what they want to hear, which is, buy my bags and make $1 million.
And
Yeah, get
even
rich slowly, take time.
like out of the handful of cases where people make a like 100x, I feel like the vast majority of them suffer from some degree of sudden wealth syndrome, like meaning they can't like too much ego, and then just can't handle the emotion of getting so rich so quick. Burn all the bridges with their friends and family and business relationships, or just outright getting liquidated like 3 arrows, or
Right.
like getting into like outright crimes, right? Like FTX and Terra.
Yeah, I think there's this quote. I forget who said this last cycle, but it's not like making it by yourself is not fun. Like the best feeling is making it with your friends. So crypto is a community, right? And even meme coins, they're tokenized communities. The reason they're so popular is because you buy it, you join a community, you ship post together on Twitter, you get engagement, and you feel amazing by yourself, right?
Yep.
That's like the main, and then maybe you make money as well. So yeah, I try to play long-term games with long-term people, right? I try to be a good actor to the best of my abilities and whatnot. I guess there's like this idea of your network is your net worth. And I think we're both in a privileged position to have friends in the industry. But for someone that is just getting in, or maybe they only have like 50 followers on Twitter, what do you think is like they should do to try to find their hive mind or their group?
Just get deep into one specific topic. It could be meme coins. It could be like the super high tech stuff like ZK or whatever, or high throughput blockchains or whatever. Just get very, very deep in one topic and put out really, really good content. People will see it, and people will like crypto Twitter is like a lot of people are jaded by crypto Twitter, but I still think it's a pretty amazing place. Like if you put out, especially in this cycle where a lot of the content is kind of garbage, if you put out like semi good content, people will notice it. People will read your content and people will retweet. Many will slid into your DMs. Some of whom are like very successful people, and you will meet the right people there. Just put out good content.
Yeah, you have to put yourself out there. Like I'm very introverted, but I still just pump content whenever I can.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess
you run 2 podcasts, and then you go to all these events, and then do like, side events with your audience, your fans. You gotta just put yourself out there.
yeah, and it always feels like yearly, right? Like when I started making videos in 2020, it felt like, oh, the YouTube game is saturated, but there's
Yeah,
always a niche, right? You have to put yourself out there, and that's how you really find,
yeah,
your friends, or like a community that you can like resonate with.
yeah,
So thank you for your time, Qiao. I really appreciated the meme coin discussion. I'm finally
yeah.
getting there. Do you have any final words for audience today? I'm sure they're like me. They have so much dopamine in their heads. They're like, how do I be allocated? This is the time to like lock in, like as a fourth cycler. Like,
Yeah.
any final words of advice?
I have something broader than crypto. I just feel
Yeah.
extremely optimistic about the US. Um, Obviously, that has to do with this up and coming administration, but I think there is a clear focus on reducing the size of the government, and basically going back to the roots of the founding values of America, which is smaller governments and big individuals that will ultimately attract the best people, the smartest people to this country. In crypto, for example, I think we're going to see a rise in entrepreneurship in the US, from like founders from all over the world will come to the US. We already hear this, by the way, in DevCon. People are saying they're moving back to the US. So I'm just really optimistic about the industry and the country in general.
No, I agree. I know when I went to Singapore, there were so many founders that moved from US to Singapore because they just couldn't build in the US. But now that there's more optimism in the air. Maybe there's going to be more innovation, and maybe the crypto market right now maybe is not so serious. Maybe it'll become more serious. And maybe the fact that the reason it's so unserious is because of the regulatory regime. But now maybe in the next 5 years, we're going to start to see like actual use cases. Not to say that, we don't have any use cases, but, maybe more consumer apps, which I know like you're like really bullish on. Actually, like, as a final plug, do you want to say anything about Alliance? I know you guys have been killing it. DAO's fun, DAO's.fun, Pump.fun, all these amazing apps. Like what have you learned, like funding and like working with all these developers and entrepreneurs?
Oh, I learned so many things. But I guess for your audience, if there's founders or future founders in your audience, I would love to talk to you, especially ones that have a high degree of childhood trauma and autism. I would love to.
Oh yeah.
That is one thing I learned over the last 4 years. Like, it sounds like a joke, but some of the best founders are the ones that went through a lot of trauma when they're young and they're highly autistic.
Yeah, no, I listened to the podcast and I think I DM'd you about it. I'm not sure how autistic I am, but I definitely have childhood trauma, and I think that's also the reason why I'm just so driven. Like I okay, so maybe I shouldn't like end the episode on like a downer, but like I lost my mom to cancer like when I was young, and that kind of sucked at the time. But like looking back, like that was like the turning point where I just started to really focus on school. And I just like went to good college. I don't really like my college degree doesn't really mean much in crypto, honestly, but I think it kind of allowed me to just like really work for myself and like just try to achieve the most like with my life. So yeah,
I'm really sorry to hear. I didn't know this.
Oh no, it's okay. Like it's not like a sad thing, but it's everyone goes through shit, right? So yeah.
Every person that I know that's super driven and motivated have gone through something traumatic during their formative years.
And that's how and I guess that's like a common denominator. And now that now I'm using my childhood trauma to ape meme coins. I'm in the meme coin trenches. If you're in the meme coin trenches, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you guys. I'll see you. I'll see you in the trenches. Well, thank you so much, Qiao. Really enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, take care.
Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the content. If you want more free content around crypto, DeFi, and on-chain farming, please check out the link in the description below for our free newsletter. Also, I run a premium community called the Humble Farmer Army, so if you're interested in that, I will also put the link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye-bye.